Welcome to People Manager. My name is Virar Singh, your host for this conversation today. As India is a moving forward country, and every day we saw the new startups, growing companies who are looking forward to establish their business and looking forward to the right types of the candidate for their organization. So, in this, opportunities for the HR professionals to deal with or scale up the organization with their HR practices, how on what types of the challenges the organization may face. As in the growing organization, which is the most critical issue, that is the hiring of right candidate for the organization, the key challenge. How you can deal with those challenges and what would be your successful strategies? For that, we have been invited today one of the senior HR leader to discuss on the People Manager platform. We here welcome Yashwant Diya from SIDS Farm. He is a vice president at SIDS Farm HR and ION. He has been implemented the strategies and bringing the gap of talent need within the organization to an pipeline of fast pacing growth organization into D2C dairy farming business. So there are the certain challenges the growing organization as part of finding the right skills, getting the right talent for organization, even understanding the business strategy of the management. How you as in the HR leader can deal with those challenges within your organization that we are conversating with Yashwant. So welcome Yashwant Padalia, Associate Vice President, giving your time and especially to the strategy as an HR leader, how the we say it as in the emerging industries or growing industries, how they can take and make forward to help the organization to grow faster, having the right kind of talent, as well as that what would be the HR leader strategies to enhancing the capability of people as well as the capability of the business. So that we are going to discuss.
Thank you, Sangviji, first of all, for having me in this discussion. So, all about aligning your HR strategies to business strategies.
You so much for your brief introduction. It's a fantastic way that you are managing your time. So that is especially to the HR professionals. They have to learn how they can manage their time and themselves spending their overall time within the framing of the organizational time frame for achieving the organization. Because we as an the HR leader or HR professional, we are dealing with the human resources. Similarly, when we need balancing our work life, so similarly it should be also for the other. So that are the initiatives that need as in the strategy by the HR professional have to initiate into the organization. Now when it is come to like the SIDS Farm, you have, and that was the growing fast pacing organization, and during the phase of the especially to in as a growing organization, first it come to the getting the right candidate for organization, the talent, because till then we do talk about the people, it does not fulfill the objective of the organization. So beyond to that we have to mostly focus on the talent or the skill. So in that case, that what is your insight as well as your suggestion, and especially I want to know that the biggest challenges company faces during the that is the growth phase, or where the hiring in the growth period, what are the challenges you have been faced or the organization may face, what are the strategies you have been developed to tackle these challenges, and then at the end you have been provided the right kind of skill set for your organization.
So, Sangviji, a very interesting question. So, primarily these challenges get bucketed into two different categories. I mean, to what I've seen so far. One is when you are in the growth phase, right? I mean, your ambitions change and you be in a different, I mean, you shift to a different gear. So in growth phase, organizations look for candidates who primarily had gone through a similar journey in terms of scale and operations. So that is what do you say, I'll not say challenge, but that is one opportunity
Right.
for the HR fraternity or the recruitment fraternity to really work upon, because you're going to search for a very small subset amongst the pool of candidates who
Right.
would be interested in pursuing a career with your organization. So that is one very interesting opportunity that HR or the recruitment professionals have in the growth phase. And the second bucket is all about some of the unique roles that come in the growth journey. For example, in our organization right now, we are what do you say, having some unique roles such as brand manager, etc. So when I say brand manager, it is all about someone who has that what do you say, proficiency in content, plus someone who understands the below the line marketing, okay, and
Right.
also someone who has that flair for brand partnerships, okay, in a setup like Sitsfarm. So it's a unique role. So you have a combination of two or three niche skill sets that join forces, and what do you say, we have to identify the right candidate who can fit the bill. So this is again an interesting opportunity for us to work upon. So these two are the key buckets, Sangviji, that I came across as opportunities. I would like to use that word opportunities instead of challenges, because
Right.
you keep pushing yourself, what do you say, beyond what you would thought of potential yourself. So it's a great space to be in, especially for the recruitment professionals in a growth stage organization.
Right. So definitely that the you said that one particular thing as I stated that what are the challenges you faced, but rather you turn it as an the opportunity really for as an the HR leader when we whatever the spots are there or the doors are not connected when the HR leader from the top side you just go through deeping into then you create a pipeline for how these dots can be connected to provide an right kind of talent for the organization. That's a really the great strategy you have been
Yeah,
put it into your this sits farm to
yeah,
enhancing the capability of people within your organization. When we talk about it is the hiring or either it is the growth phase of an organization, it is into the highly growing organization. But these the challenges have been faced by every organization because getting the right set of candidate or skill within the candidate that is difficult in the every area. So I do not say that in any the who are already who are already the exceeded organization they does not have such challenges, but really it is that your I appreciate that you said that is the opportunity to connect those dots and bring it beyond to that so that you can evolve yourself within what better you can do. Now come to the especially we are hiring and as you are handling or dealing as in the heading the whole function of HR, so there it come to now how in the growing phase of organization the innovative HR practices you have been adopted and really that has been proven the effective and supportive company growth.
great question, Sangvij. So, see, when I was a student, say 5 years back, so I used to have largest of the organizations coming and pitching, what do you say, at our campus. So I did my MBA in
Mhm.
HR from Narsi Monji Institute of Management Studies, Mumbai. So it is
Okay.
one of
Mhm.
those tier 1B schools. So we used to see largest of the organizations coming where HR leaders used to uh, come up with different programs for campus students,
Right.
especially a B school cohort, right? So companies pitch different programs to you. So based on my experience in the last 4.5 years, and what I've seen in the industry through my good friends in the HR fraternity, right? So there are three common themes, Sangviji, that any program or any HR practice is coined around. Okay, first is the role itself. I think nowadays a lot of leaders are talking about how Gen Zs are, what do you say, picking career choices, or how they are
Right.
responding, what do you say, to the corporate environment, etc. But if you take a step back or zoom out, one thing which they are very particular about is role. So they want to get into a role that will challenge them every day, give them an opportunity to learn every day, put them into that what do you say, learning curve trajectory, which will only
Right.
be going up or steeper as the days go, right? And they also, I mean, a lot of times I hear from the Gen Z folks that they don't want to limit themselves to a particular domain or a function. They want versatility in the role, if that's the right choice of word. They want their roles to be more versatile, more diverse. Okay, so one what do you say? I'll not say make or break, but one strong contributor for someone to look forward to a what do you say, growing career in an organization is the role.
Right.
It should be as versatile as possible, and it should keep pushing the individual beyond what he or she thinks as his or her potential. Okay, so that is one. Next is the roadmap. So, for example, 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line, 7 years down the line, how does the career for this individual looks like? So, for example, if someone is starting his or her career in digital marketing space, would they move to what do you say, different domain within marketing, or would they have opportunity in a cross domain vertical like operations? Okay, so people want to don diverse hats and uh, grow at a faster pace to the leadership roles in the current timeline that we are speaking at. So second is the roadmap, and third is the recognition. So for example, when I say recognition, it's not just about what you say, the money. So money is one key aspect, I don't deny, but how do leaders appreciate what do you say, the individual? So for any role, right, there are quick wins, there are short-term wins, and there are long-term wins, right? So each win will have its own significance in that journey. Okay. So how do leaders appreciate what do you say, individuals when they what do you say, achieve their quick wins, when they accomplish their short-term objectives, and when they crack those long-term objectives, right? So how does the organization or the leadership appreciate these individuals is very important. For example, if we take Setswarm as an example,
Mhm.
so in our organization we have multiple people. I mean,
Right.
so many people who have done different tasks. For example, our city head who's based in Bangalore, so
Mhm.
he has experience in operations, he has experience in marketing, he has good flair in finance. So see, all these opportunities were created as has he kept growing in the organization. So the combination of this skill set helped him, what do you say, take charge of the Bangalore region that we are currently expanding a footprint in. Likewise, we have many such examples where diverse roles resulted in the organization shaping more well-rounded individuals who are taking up larger roles. Okay, this is one. And when you say roadmap again, see, at different points, all these individuals got an opportunity to do different roles. So, another example, we have a civil engineer who joined us to take care of plant, what do you say, maintenance at our mother factory. But after that, he got opportunity in marketing, and right now he is, what do you say, heading the community marketing for our Hyderabad region. So while he
Mhm.
doesn't come from the core marketing experience, the opportunities in his journey helped him become more and more comfortable with the marketing, what do you say, space. And then
Yes.
recognition. So every quarter we have something called Super Employee Awards, where we recognize superstars who are not
Mhm.
only consistent, but who are not only consistent in their performance across the quarter, but who bring that innovation, who bring that versatility into the roles. So in terms of recognition, so and that event has the so that event attracts the highest footprint. What do you say, in terms of the turnout? Because even folks who are working on the ground make it a point to be at office on that day because it's a large event for the
Mhm. You're
organization.
right.
So these, I mean, we are implementing these great practices. What do you say, at Sitsfarm, and we see a lot of what do you say, positive employee morale within the organization. So I think largest of the organizations do what do you say different initiatives, but these three are
Mhm.
the key levers that they play around in order to get the best out of the talent that comes on board.
Rightly. So, as you said that the success or the best practices, which I can say as in the success strategies by HR professional to lead an organization, that is probably mostly number one, the organization when it is designed. So, individual they should be cope up with their job roles. What are the functions? They should be interactive with that. That should be engaged so that they can perform well. Second, come to you said that the career lifespan they are spending within the organization, the proper roadmap can help the organization, especially to provide the right kind of setup. Either it is the skill pipelining, it is your talent pipelining, and it can help. Like you have given the one of example, one of the role of the person who was in one function, then come to the sale. Now it is the head of the area specific. So these are the strategies rightly helping the organization or the HR strategies to helping really as in the business partnering role you have been into your organization. Most important is I will put that is the recognition, which maybe what it is not the monetary type recognition, but it should be beyond to that, where the people can feel they are really proudly recognized by their organization, whatever the efforts they have been incorporated, they have been dealt with within the organization. So these are the strategies as per your advices can help the organization or especially the HR professional to keeping their talent up to the mark with the changing or the dynamic business needs. And now, when we are discussing about the best practices, then most important question come to ask you, that is about the HR department. Holistically, how it can balance the need for rapid hiring, where you have to maintain the high standard for quality and culture fit, which are the two common concern with the organization. When organization they are hiring the talent, looking for the quality people. Quality mean it is the skill, and secondly, getting them fit to the that the organizational culture need. So how you tackle all these, and what are your practices and your advices, especially or practices you have been introduced into Citrus Farm or the previously so far your career?
So that's an interesting question, Sanjay. So what I would suggest, what do you say, our fellow HR colleagues who are building their careers in recruitment or in the HR function is, first of all, getting the approach right is very important.
Right.
When I say approach is,
Get it. Mhm.
recruitment is all about what do you say, finding the right talent to the organization basis the skill set that is mapped to the role. So that is
Mhm.
broad. So here, in terms of approach, see, I would urge all the HR or recruitment leaders to own the, or rather co-own the manpower planning exercise. A lot of times, what happens is uh, recruitment starts with designing the strategy to fulfill the business request. So what I would suggest
Yes.
people to do is left shift. I mean, get a left shift to that approach where you what do you say partner with the business, understand what do you say what the requirement is, and co-own the manpower requirement. What happens in a growth stage organization when hiring picks up a rapid paces, you'll be expected to hire for a lot of roles, and
Mhm.
uh, if you divide roles broadly, so they are into two types. One which has volume, one which have volume. Okay, so there'll be, I mean, the number of roles will be less, but each role would require multiple people. Okay, to fulfill the business need. Okay, one is the volume, and second one is the niche. Okay, sometimes due to the nature of the role, or if you are setting up some unique roles, those will be very very specific to your organization or within the fraternity of
Yeah.
organizations that your organization falls into, right? So what I would request people is to divide what do you say the manpower exercise into two parts. And in case of volume, especially, what I do or we do at Sixfarm is say for certain volume-based positions, say if we have a requirement of 5 to 6 candidates for a particular
Mhm.
role, what we do is we hire 2 3 people first. We supply the talent to the business, and we request the business to see how the pace gets picked. Okay, a lot of times what happens is it's a human what do you say calculation, right? So
Right.
once you start what do you say getting the work shared by 2 to 3 additional resources, there's highly likely that the total number of candidates that you should hire will come
Mhm.
down. Okay? So it's very
Mhm.
important for you to have that card in your hand. Right? So ensure that you, I mean, in case of volume based roles, you hire a few people, take a pause, see how the business is responding in terms of the nature of work, etc., and then
Mhm.
see how you can chart your next steps. So that will help you, what do you say, be a true business partner because you are, what do you say, owning the exercise along with the business, and you're also,
Mhm.
since you HR is believed to be the subject matter expert when it comes to recruitment, fulfillment of positions, etc. So I would
Rightly.
suggest people to experiment on strategies like this. Okay, this is one. Then set your process correctly. For example, do you have the skill sets mapped across your roles? Are you sure about the number of skills and the skill types that you need to check for each role? Okay, get that right first. Ensure that your process is as comprehensive as possible. Okay, so depending on the role, ensure you have multiple discussions within the respective function and the cross-functional, what do you say, leadership or managers as well, so that you get
Mhm.
a holistic perspective on the individual. Because
Right.
in a growth stage, what do you say, organization, in addition to fulfillment, right? One thing that has to complement very well is the cultural fitment, because the company, I mean, the organization, what do you say, has set itself to grow at a rapid pace compared to how it has been growing. So it's very
Right.
important that you have that good cultural immersion within the organization, especially in the incoming talent. Okay, and the last one is never put time as top two metrics to what do you say track the recruitment progress. See,
Mhm.
I will not get into what do you say some widely used proverbs such as good things take time and all, but recruitment can't be treated as I mean treated equivalent to some of the what do you say super fast paced requirements. So what I would say is
Yes.
take the necessary, I mean, take the adequate time for filling up that position, because more than the pace, right, the fitment of that individual to the organization and the skills that the individual is bringing to the table are a lot more important. So I would suggest the HR or recruitment professionals not to put time as any of their top metrics, especially top two
Right.
metrics to track the recruitment process. So it sets from what we generally do is,
Mhm.
so at an entry role, we make sure to have at least two interactions within the function. But
Okay.
anything that is mid-level or senior, right? We have the cross-functional leaders and managers also taking part of the interaction process, so that it builds a holistic perspective on the candidate persona. So, for example,
Mhm.
if you have 10 potential candidates, out of whom you're looking forward to pick one, so it's very important that all the 10 candidates speak to multiple people within the organization who are both from the same function and from the cross function, so that
Yeah.
for each candidate you have a persona mapped. So whichever persona is more relevant to the growth that you are foreseeing for your organization. So that's one good thing, what do you say, that I would want to call out at System. So there's a lot of support from the core and cross-functional leadership when it comes to finding the right candidate for the organization. Okay, that is what do you say. That is something which what do you say. I am very happy about when it comes to the organization. And
Right.
the other one also, when I said volume versus niche, right? The whole
Mhm.
philosophy is what do you say, heavily embraced within the organization. So especially in volume. So after a particular point, after you fulfill 50 to 60% of the requirement, there's never a rush, because the org, especially the leadership, is also open to see what comes out from
Right.
each of the people who get hired, and basis that you regulate the requirement.
Definitely, the fantastic strategies you have been adopted. So it is more on that you as in the HR leader, especially where you are hiring the volume and the rapid hiring. So in that case, your collaboration with the stakeholder would help you to getting the right the talent for the organization. Most importantly, when HR department had to balance the need of rapid hiring and maintaining the high standards. So they number one, as you've been suggested, that is the workforce planning can play a crucial role. How pace you require the workforces, where you have to consider number one, the volume it is required. Second is the most probability to be getting slowly, but not fastly, but adequate amount of time people have to take. So that's the key would be which would work. That is the collaboration with the stakeholder or the either hiring manager, department leaders, so that you can have a regular check on the adequate talent you have been provided, and that could also be assessed to is it getting the right skill set which required by the organization or especially the function specific. So when we are talking about the HR department, their strategies, how you can cope and balance with the rapid hiring, then it's come about the next stages where we have been hired the employee, now come to now that had to deploy within the organization for planning about their next 2 year of the time spent within the organization. So as an in your experience, uh, what role does the technology play in modern HR practices for the growing company? Because we talk about the technology in recruitment, maximum number of these stages there are now the ATS and other tools are available who can help, but maybe you are already using or not using, so you just had to confirm that. But further to which are the technology you are using for the hiring of your the new hire or candidate talent for your organization? So in your experience, how you can say that it has transformed the really the recruitment portion by the technology, its uses and its impact, as well as the future the work of the technology with the HR function, how we look like.
So, first of all, to talk about the significance of tech in HR, Saginaji, so it will be one of your best friends, okay, when you're scaling up.
Right.
Okay, so for example, I come from, when prior to joining Sexfarm, I worked with large organizations. There, as
Mhm.
they scaled up, right? So they, what do you say, complemented the HR teams, what do you say, expertise with
Mhm.
technology infrastructure, which helped them do things better, especially when they were scaling as an organization. So,
Right.
technology will be the function's best partner or friend when what do you say? There's a lot of scale up that's happening in the organization, especially in business and operations. Okay, so that is one. And then when you want, when you're talking specifically about the recruitment, right? So to screen your profiles, for example, let's take what do you say, LinkedIn. Okay, where LinkedIn is used widely by
Mm.
recruiters to find the best talent. So
Right.
LinkedIn itself bases the keywords that you use. Okay, it'll filter candidates into different buckets, whether the candidate is the best fit, whether the candidate is not so great fit, etc. So that will help
Mm.
you, what do you say, take the workflow ahead, what do you say, at a much faster pace if your number of number of candidates is too large. Okay, because at the end of the day, you should understand how to funnel down to the right candidate, right? So I think that's where technology has now grown in leaps and bounds compared to maybe pre-COVID times. Okay, now there's a
Right.
lot of exponential growth that's happening in tech, and even scheduling. For example, in the HRMS that we are using, right? So there, all the one-on-one discussions between manager and employees, reviews, everything can be pre-scheduled. Okay, and technology is not good just at scheduling and sending calendar invites, but it also has what do you say, uh, much needed features such as reminding people 1 day in advance, 2 day in advance. Because I think since what do you say, a lot of human interaction is involved in the process, right? You
Correct.
tend to miss what do you say, certain timelines. So it's always good to have a friend who reminds you, what do you say, just when the occasion is at the cusp of happening. So that is one more thing. So across the life cycle, your reviews, your one-on-one discussions, your team meetings, everything can be pre-scheduled and have a reminder in place. So that, and uh, the whole gamification part, which is more important. So right now it's from we are not there yet, but the gamification in terms of engaging your employees, right? So that is
Mhm.
where technology is what do you say, rapidly growing in terms of its complementary offerings to what the HR fraternity wants or the org wants. So gamification is somewhere tech or technology is accelerating the pace very, very really. And then they use the word called stack, right? So keeping everything in one place. So for example, if a manager and reportee is having say 12 discussions in a year, documenting all of those in one place so that in the second discussion, manager can refer to what happened in first discussion. In the fifth
Right.
discussion, the prior four discussions can be what do you say, accessed. Okay, so
Mhm.
this whole integration with the needs is what technology is doing very well, and beyond HR as well, right? I mean, to track your efficiencies, to measure efficiencies, to run efficiencies, tech will what do you say, be one of the best enablers.
Nicely. So, when we talk about the tech, how we are into the era of technology, where every day it is going to move forward and new technologies are coming all the time, as in the HR after COVID or after 2020. So, it is the technology is helping the HR function more peacefully, more fastly and rapidly, where the maximum number of the operational job or maximum number of the which CA is at and the follow-up jobs that can be done by the technology. So HR function can more focus on the strategical part.
Correct, correct,
So that's why the technology is helping the HR function to transforming the totally the operational thing to a gamification or molding it off to the more forward to the people strategies. Now, when we
correct.
are talking about the strategies, so it come now to the point which I would get to you. So that is the can HR strategies adapt to cater the diverse and inclusive that workforce while scaling up as an organization? How your strategy has been worked so far, and did you been implemented such types of the strategies in your organization where focusing rather not the hiring as a diversity and inclusivity into the workforce outside when you are hiring or implementing into the workplace when the new hires has been come into the organization now within their growth, how you are especially your strategies you are working on, you have been adopted, you are adopting there's a strategy for especially to adopting the diversity and inclusivity into the workforces.
Sagbiji, one strong thing that drives SETSFAM when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion is
Mhm.
having no gender preference. Right? So,
Right.
gender is not even the last thing that what do you say, our hiring managers or leaders look forward to. So, we are very open as an organization. So SITSFARM is as a so is a SITSFARM is an organization where some of the foundations were set in a very, very watertight or rock solid what do you say, fashion. So here in none of the roles that we have hired for, especially after I joined, there was never a gender discussion or preference. So I think we
Okay.
have got the root of the DEI right as an organization. So we don't have a gender preference, etc. So while certain roles, say, which have to, I mean, which involve a lot of traveling and which are ops heavy, maybe in those roles there'll be a bit of discussion, maybe from the sensitivity standpoint, because sometimes you need to be mindful about the sensitivities. But even in those roles, gender was never amongst the first few things that leaders look forward to. So all we look forward to as an organization is the right skill set that
Mhm.
the candidate has. So uh, I think there we got the game right, and we never had to really deliberate separately on gender preference and etc. But generally, right? I mean, now we see organizations, what do you say, going 100% diversity in their labs, going 100% diversity in their stores, dark stores, etc. So I think we as an organization also will start thinking on those lines maybe from next financial year. Okay, we'll see how we can have a few roles, what do you say, cater to a particular cohort of what do you say candidates. But I think we'll take baby steps from the upcoming financial year. But as an organization, right, we never had what do you say any issues on DI because gender or cohort preference was never ever what do you say in the sorter or filter. Okay, so that is something which we got right, which ensured that we never had to deliberate on the diversity that we have or the DEI strategy. But as an organization, we are open to anyone and everyone who has that right skill set to bring to the table.
So fantastically, maximum when we saw the organization, our DI is the talk of town, and every organization are talking about the DI. So maximum side, what are the studies? So that is in the marketplace, and especially to the that the stand for the organization. Even though 2 and 3 studies which we have been gone through last year, so they're properly saying that the DI is part of the recruitment where organization have to balance the gender specific or the gender special balancing the gender 50-50, 40-60 something is that is
Yeah,
the
but for our organization, it is in our DNA. I mean, we don't work towards balancing. Uh, we are a balanced organization because it is never a sorter or filter for us.
rightly. So as in the organization, so it would be it depend when HR are totally aligned with the mission, vision, and values of the organization. So there should not be any place specially for the diversity based on the gender. So who has the skill? They are mostly invited. As rightly the strategies
Right.
have been adopted for the SITS farm, and that would most probably and work well for the achieving organizational goal. However, when we talk about the specific niche goal where maybe some constraint, so the gender can be considered, but it should not be part of your total
Yeah,
gamification to the
never.
recruitment.
Even in those sensitive roles, right? We never have gender taking the front or center stage. Okay, so it will be at a much later stage, and it doesn't really contribute to a large share in the decision process.
As one point earlier, we discussed about the hiring. We are putting on the 3 point you discussed, share bit. So that is the workforce planning, then the set of proper processes required, and adequate time organization need to give. Our HR need to provide for the human resources, or especially to the stakeholder to providing the human resources. So in that part, when an organization are going to planning the workforce properly, they have the set proper that the processes has been adopted, and then adequate time they have been delivered. But in that case, when the organization or HR function are especially designing these strategies, do you think that they have to take care or avoid something while these strategies they are designed, which we can say the some common mistake that have to be taken care by the HR professional when designing the hiring strategies, or we are going for the rapid hirings?
Yeah. So, great question. I mean, a good extension to one of the earlier discussions, Pankaj. So, one of the most important nuances that need to be taken care of is having a skill matrix for the role that
Right.
you're hiring for. Ensure that you're clear about what are those top 5 to 6 things that need to be looked at in each of the candidate for you to derive a subset of potential candidates. Okay, that is one. Okay, so and second one is, I mean, we are right now very much far ahead from the COVID times and all. So
Mhm.
I think we should not have room for complete virtual interview process. While I respect the fact that certain stages in the interview process can go virtual, but ensure that you have, I mean, if you are having say 4 rounds, 5 rounds of interview, ensure that 50% of it at least is happening, what do you say, in person. Because when you're doing interviews or when you're running the hiring process in person, right, you'll know the candidate more in depth as a person. While
Yeah,
while skill is one strong mapping, what do you say, to each role and candidate, one important thing that everyone should consider is um ensure that you have right skills and doing it in person. At least 50% of the process is very important. Okay, so that is one. Second one is the same thing that I was speaking. So never have turnaround time as one of your top two metrics, because I think when you press yourself too much against time, right, you tend to maybe overlook a few very critical or important pieces. Okay, so I think these two
right.
are, I'll not say common mistakes, but these two are nuances that need to be looked at very carefully. So you should ensure that you don't miss out on these two things.
Definitely. So, as when we are talking about the hiring into the rapid basis, what are the strategies when HR function are moving ahead? So, there, as an it is the rapid, it is not a rapid. We say it as the hybrid workplaces. So, as your strategy that when we have to understand the right fit of candidate, so there should be at least 50% of interaction should be in person, so that we can effectively judge that who would be rightly fit for within the skill, and secondly fit for the culture also, which is the most important and critical for the organization. Later I have also experienced with the more than 50 number of the HR leader I have been interviewed. So maximum cases when I ask such questions, so it say that there are some point of time the person had the good skill, but organization cannot find them as in the right fit to their culture. So that would be the issue for the people moving out from the organization so fastly, so quickly. When we are here talking about especially to retaining the people, or it is about the most common to how you make them during the hiring, so that would be one part. But judging rightly as fit to culture, as fit to skill during the interviews, that may not be properly possible. So that could be happen because it is the vice versa both the time, right? You are hiring a candidate, so they would look the organization, what you are going to give them, what you are saying to during the interviews, they would be impressed, so they can be part of your organization, accept your offer. Now come to the most important part, which say that your first impression can bring your employee to be stay with you for the throughout their lifespan, or we talk it as in the age of 58 years. So in that case, what as per you or your strategies to the importance of the onboarding, how much importance of the onboarding is in the retaining the new hiring for the in the growing and growth phase especially.
They say, right, first impression is the best impression. So I think while candidates' first impression forms during the hiring process itself, but once the offer hits the mailbox, candidate accepts it, and after that, a lot of candidates look forward to, they look forward to seeing what's in store for them, especially from what do you say, the career growth, and especially for freshers, right? I mean, it's their first job, so they feel they would all be excited, because it's very important for them to make that first mark, because
Correct.
college or say, education life is very much different from what do you say, how professional life unfolds. So candidates find it extremely exciting. So first touch point is very important. So it's fun. I'll tell you what we do. So we have an induction, a half a day induction, where our central teams, or what do you say, the central office teams interact with the new joinees to understand new joinees to understand what do you say, what their department is all about, how significant it is for such key people in the organization. Okay, these details. Then we hand over that candidates after the induction on the second half of day one for the respective level. But apart from this, uh, what do you say, central understanding, right? What we do is we have them visit our farm. So we have a plant, what do you say, close to Hyderabad. So we have them visit our plant and have that whole understanding of operation. So, for example, what does procurement mean for such farm? What does plant operations mean? Okay, what happens at these two stages? Okay, that whole understanding, because our founder and MDs, what do you say, is very much quality centered, and we as an organization believe in quality and purity because it's his vision, and we want every employee working at such farm to understand how that translates real time, what do you say, in that whole operations value chain. So we get them do that, and every week our founder and MD gives about I mean 1.5 hours to the new joiners to help them understand how's the organization growing, how would their role be very important
Right.
to play for the growth, etc. So we do that, and for our customer facing teams, he does a training as well every week. So he sheds out about 3 hours of time every Friday, interacts with them, and helps them understand how do we do what we do, and also helps them understand how to answer what do you say, some of the frequent customer questions they keep hearing, because it's very important for them to build that perspective so that they what do you say, be the right what do you say, six farms representatives. So there's a lot of emphasis on training. I mean L&D. There's a lot of emphasis on onboarding. So we get some of these things right. At least we are doing it very good right now, so that we give that holistic experience to every new joiner. Okay, so they understand not just about what the core teams are doing, but also understand what's happening behind the scenes, to understand how exactly is the visual translated to implementation.
We talk about, especially to the first impression is the last impression, so that is really impactful for the organization where they have decentralized the orientation and onboarding process, then going for the induction, especially to visualizing the processes, what actually has been happened, then after going for the cooperative interaction with the new hire, so that really have a great impact to the new hires or the new joinees. They can think on their career maybe moving forward with this organization, and then we can also align the people with really to fit within the culture of the organization. When we are talking about now, the onboarding is also one of the key to helping the new hire or the new joinee, especially to be stay within the organization for a longer period of time. Either it is the growth phase companies or it is the already grown companies. So now here the most importantly come to the part of where HR function success would be measured through some metrics. So as of now, when we talk about, we're talking here about the SITS farm and similarly fast growing companies. So how do you measure the HR practices success in your organization? How many that metrics you are using for measuring? Either one is number one, the operational part, and second is the strategic part.
So very simple, Sanjay. So we sometimes put it simple so that we understand the results, what do you say, accurately. So first thing that we track is how has the on-the-job performance impacted. Okay. So I think whatever you do as HR team, right, you want employees to feel more comfortable about the organization. So why do you do that? So that they bring the best out of themselves, right? So how did that translate in the real time? So impact on the job performance is something which we do it, something which we track. Okay, so that is first metric that we use. Okay, second one is, see, during the process of implementation, see, strategy understand. So when you have your HR practice, I know that I mean, we all know that it's all about aligning your entire org to a particular thing and taking it ahead. So it's all about putting right minds into the thought process and coming up
Right.
with right initiatives, which will be the on-the-job performance. How has it
Yes.
got impacted? Because I guess that is the objective with which, what do you say, we work, right? I mean, you want to have the candidate, I mean, employees get better experience, exposure, so that they bring the best out of themselves. That is one. And second, during the journey of implementation, right? How are you ensuring that what do you say, you have that high touch approach? When I say high touch, at every stage you need to what do you say, work along with stakeholders. Because, for example, right now we are doing something called monthly newsletter. So during our training sessions, one of the things that we saw is we need to up the game when it comes to the org intelligence among our employees. So for that, we have launched an initiative called monthly newsletter. So while communicating it via emails and all is so great, but working with them on the ground, ensuring that we get the functional news on time is very important. So how are you making the stakeholder comfortable so that he or she will ably support your initiative is super important. Okay, so I think
All right.
ensuring that you have all the touch points in place to ensure that your initiative leads to better employee experience and on the job performance is, I think, the top priority for any HR or what do you say, any HR professional. Yeah.
Mhm. So, rightly, when we have been discussed about the measuring of the individual, how you are measuring. Now, come to the second point of including in this same question only. So, that is the HR practices. So, whatever the HR practices you have within your organization, so what metrics you are using for those HR that practices you are measuring the success of these strategies.
See, that's what I said, Sangviji. It's about seeing how the on-the-job performance is getting impacted.
The organization measures its success. So now come to we are near to the last moment to discuss about the what are your advices that you would give to the HR professional who are the new generation coming up into the domain of HR that they how they have to
Yeah.
manage the hiring in
So,
the growth phase.
yeah. So what I would suggest them is, see, irrespective of the role that they are playing, right? That any HR professional is playing, be it recruitment vertical, be it the business partnering vertical, be it the L&D partners, be it the employee experience professionals, be it the payroll team. So everyone needs to build that mindset that they are the business partners. They are, they
Right.
are, they should see everyone is a business in to understand the skill set that someone is looking for, find the right candidates, build that business cohesion with the candidates. Okay, then you take uh, L&D role, so you understand the talent needs of the vertical. You build programs to fulfill it. You track it along with the business. So see, irrespective of the role, right? You are a business partner. So it's important for everyone to have that mindset so that things will make more sense. Why, what do you say, they are unfolding in the way they are. Okay. So I think that
Right.
is super important. And then, see, in the current times, right, lot of young blood is getting infused into the society. So there are head level roles, there are lead level roles, okay, they are manager level roles, okay, head manager lead level roles. So beyond that, right, see if you can infuse management trainees or engineering trainees into the system, because uh, um, I would say that they come as white papers, okay, and you can paint beautiful vision that you
Right.
have
Definitely.
onto those papers and grow in the long term. So in that process, you build homegrown leaders. So that's super important. I guess these are some things which I want. What do you say? The not want, which I request the HR professionals to keep in mind.
Rightly. So these are the great advices for the HR professional and the generation who are coming up as in the into the HR professional. So they have to really, as in the become the business partner, they have to more focus on that how they can groom with that largely within the organization, their mission, vision, and values. When I talk about the mission, vision, and values, and we are talking about the growth organization, and in that case most importantly it is the big challenge when the growing organization they are expanding their volume. When I say that, either it is business, when it is the business volume is expanding, then the workforce volume would also been expanded accordingly. So in that case, and that how the companies would ensure and maintain their core values and culture when they are expanded, as in the businesses, as in the workforces too.
So, what we do as an organization is, right, we do intense and regular training. So, we have our core values champions business wise. We have regular check-ins with our employees. So it can start with as simple as rating how did the meeting go. So, for example, one of our core values is quality, right? So, while while to the external world it may be about quality of the milk or the products that we produce. At an individual level, it's all about how did the meeting go? How did I contribute? Did I come prepared? Okay. That whole orientation is nothing but the quality, right? So
All
it's all
right.
what do you say, driving it every day on the job. So we do intense and regular training. We have identified our core value champions. We have them what do you say, partner with us, and we train our employees regularly on core values. When I say train, we don't train on all the six core values that we have every time, but we touch upon one value. We
Okay.
try to what do you say, explore the significance of it and see how see, for example, we have multiple departments, how each department, how an individual working in department A can actually live that core value on the job
All
vis-a-vis
right.
someone in department B would live it in a different way because the requirements are different from each individual, right?
Right. Fantastically. So it is most important when the organization are growing. So HR function, especially to maintain their core values and culture. So it is obviously you had to go through to create the awareness among your core values, then go step by step, not all together, but one by one. You have to cope up with so that at the end, when within the organization, the new hire maybe settle within either 6 months of the duration, so they can know the best the foundation values of your organization, and they can move forward with the growth of the organization. These are the excellent strategies you shared with us today in this discussion about the HR strategies by the HR professional while they are into the growing phase of organization. So thank you so much for giving your time as well as your valuable insights on the HR strategies for especially hiring and maintaining the right talent for the organization who are into the growth phase. Mr. Yashwant Padalia, giving your insights on the HR strategies for hiring and growth during the growing phase of the organization. We hope this conversation all the readers, viewer can find it well and implement these strategies into their organization to getting the right talent for their organization.